Welcome to Compass for Your Life, and this is your host, Mary Ladybird, creator of Wonder Space. This show is about healing your home and body using sacred feng shui. Harmonize your life by creating a harmonious home. Easy and fast ways to improve your life and create wonderful spaces. Let's inspire you to make the best of your space to create your best life possible. Get ready to enjoy this new perspective on home living. Hello again, this is Mary Ladybird with Compass for Your Life, and today I'm happy to bring on a guest, Susan Joy, and she is known as a frequency shifter, which I love. I think that's the most amazing thing to be. She's also very into the sacred play and how to bring more playfulness into your daily life. So I would like to welcome her, and we are going to have a fun time discussing how to bring more playfulness into your life. Hello, Susan.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm doing great. I'm doing
Awesome. Well, a sacred play, a lot of folks, as I was just contemplating this, would think play. What? I don't have time to play. What is that about? Who has time to play in this day and age? I've got lots of things to do. And the important thing here is your life is a game, and this is what you get to play in. And it's okay for us to make mistakes, and it's okay for us to just be curious. So when I talk about play, it could mean very different things to very different people, but it is what I call kind of like playing in the cosmic game of life. And so what we want to express is all available right now. And so, I like to play a game with my guides and my angels, my team, so that I can follow the breadcrumbs very easily and access all that wisdom right in the now moment. And so it becomes this fun, joyful event as opposed to feeling like hard drudgery work. Yeah,
yeah. Now you play in a variety of sandboxes, so to
I
speak.
do.
So you also you work with Gene Keys. You do sound therapy, light language, and you've dabbled in human design.
Yes.
So how do you work with your clients? How do they come to you, and what are they seeking when they arrive?
So, a lot of folks are in this stage of expansion and just creating a new awareness of what life can be and where they want to go next. And so, I'm just there to play with them by their side, to not take it too seriously. And, we're all talking about various stages of consciousness. And so, this is really an expansion into what we're calling the new earth, and really being in this space of openness and curiosity of what we can possibly create in this now moment to then create a different way of being in the future. And so it all starts in the now.
Yes, I couldn't agree more. And, bringing up, how things are shifting too in our collective consciousness and the new earth at which you mentioned. What I guess so. I guess one of my bigger questions is, what do you see that's going not necessarily wrong, but where we might be off track a little? And what is in the spiritual community? There's a lot of information out there, and like, how do we keep track of, you know, how do we expand into this new realm, into this new earth, into the new energies, more the fifth dimension? What kind of ideas do you have, or play that you do to help people expand in their frequency?
Yeah, I truly believe that each person has their own innate wisdom. And so it's remembering and tapping into that as opposed to having to listen to all the other wisdoms. Now, don't get me wrong. There is very specific frequencies that we pick up from that are there and available to us to help us on our way, much like a little angel wink, like, oh, yeah, I needed to hear that. But also remember your own innate wisdom, and you are fully rooted in your wisdom. And it's actually a lot of it is held within our body. So, doing somatic practices is really helpful too, working with breath work, meditation, or contemplation. It's doing some of this inner stuff so that you can raise your own vibration and really understand who you truly are and what you came here to birth. So, yeah, that's and most people it's like, "What? That's so way out there." And I'm like, "No, it's right here in the now moment." So, let's
Mhm.
play in that space.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So I've always been a very creative person, being having a design background. However, I do sometimes get myself, stuck in that like workaholic syndrome. Like, okay, we have to go, 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 go. How do you suggest for people to take a step back out of that world
Mm,
busyness and
right.
move themselves slowly in a more habitual way every day into this idea of adding more creativity, more play in their life?
Well, and I think it begins by truly honoring and accepting yourself right where you are and saying, "Okay, is there something I'm needing to prove here?" Or like the busyness or the amping up. And part of it is the slowing down, because what I have witnessed in my own experience, the more I slow down into that spaciousness of timelessness, the faster things happen in my life. Let me repeat that again. The more I slow down in my own timelessness and give myself that space to really connect within myself, that is when new things crop up very effortlessly. So we don't have to push. It's not a pushing, it's not a pulling, it's the beingness of our true nature and the naturalness that is evoked from that beingness, that then things are magnetized towards us.
Hmm.
So, some daily practices, practical steps, meditation or sound, listening to different frequencies that align with you. When I first started doing some of this work, I was just looking on YouTube and I felt into my sacral. And when something felt yummy, I stopped and I was like, nope, I need that. Like my body needed that. So I was like, oh, I'm going to listen to that. When something didn't jive with me, I was like, nope, that's not for me. And so I was saying yes and no. That's because that's how my body operates. That's my human design. And I finally learned that, like, 8 years later. I was like, oh, there is something to this. That's really fascinating. Um, and so people work in very different ways. And so it's really getting at the crux of how your operating system works and learning about that, as well as staying curious and expansive into what you are here to become. So
Nice.
curious, curious takes curious nature, and not to
Okay.
take it so seriously.
Is there a Yeah, exactly. That's the thing that I think a lot of people forget is we get so serious so quickly and we forget to bring that laughter, the wonder, the play into our life and to smile and have fun even if we're like doing the dishes, and
Right.
just
Exactly. And it's
appreciating
not
who you are now.
yeah, and it's not like sitting on a mountaintop by yourself and, oh, like being all serious into, "I must ascend." Because really the cosmic joke is we are it here in the now in our bodies. And
Yes.
so it is the embodiment of our divinity in our beingness. And
Yeah.
that is the funniest part because, when you hear the word ascension, you're like, oh, that must happen after I die. But it is rooted in who we came to be in our divinity in our bodies and making it happen here in this plane. So,
Yes, I think a lot of people in the spiritual community, or otherwise, those just awakening, automatically feel like they have to move from their mind chakra straight up out of their crown and out of their body, and not understand that it's not all about us, like you said, ascending. It's about going within. When you go within, you go meditate. What does that feel like? That's, oh yeah, that's the lower chakras. Where do we find creativity from? The sacral.
sacral. Yeah,
Yep.
the yummy yes. I call it the yummy yes. When something feels delicious, it's like, ooh. Or when you see something that delights you and lights you up from the inside, like revel in that. That's the beauty that we get with these eyes, these ears, our bodies. I mean, we are connected to all of it. It's just a matter of like remembering, oh my gosh, I won the lottery. I'm here. I get to do this.
Right. Right. It's in our divine nature to create.
Yes.
And yeah, so I love that. So can you tell me a little bit about the gene keys and maybe where does play show up there?
So when I play with Gene Keys, and I've been doing this, or I was introduced to Gene Keys probably back in 2017, and of course it resonated a lot with me because the geek in me was like, "Ooh, it's talking about genes, like GENE, like science," and I'm like, all about that. So when I got into it, it kind of I honestly, it was a little overwhelming. I'd read two paragraphs and then I'd go and take a nap. I was synthesizing all of this new information that was expanding my beingness, and I'm trying, what I get to play in now is simplify so that, it's not hard. This is just our playful nature of looking at life through many different lenses. And we are all 64 of those keys. And we are playing with when we mm, descend into our bodies when we're born, into very specific profiles or what hologenetic profiles. And so we have like an earth curriculum, soul curriculum that we get to play in. And there's different ways of us being in this life, and dance with, when we are in our intellectual development and our emotional development and how we show up in relationships to others. It's fascinating when you see it through this lens to realize it, it can be all of it, and then at the same time there's the paradox that none of it matters, but at least part of the journey I like to say explore it and play with it until it doesn't matter anymore. Like sometimes it's like I throw all of it out and kind of go, no, don't take it so seriously, like stay connected to your divinity, and oh yeah, that's what we're playing with, like, yeah, there are all these patterns. We are fractal families. We are attracted to very specific people in our lives for very various reasons. And just stay curious about that and go, oh, is that helpful? Good. All right, I'll stick around. Is it not? And it doesn't feel right? Hmm. Maybe it's time to go.
Mhm. Yep.
so
Nice.
so so yeah.
Wow. So yeah, that's amazing to get to that point to have those awarenesses. And you also, I do want to bring up you are involved in what's called the School of Light Collective. That sounds so, like you said, yummy.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit more about the School of the Light Collective.
So what's fascinating is that since 2017, I studied with a fractal family group of people, the gene keys. And each gene key that would come up, we would study it in depth for like 6 months. And out of it birthed this school. And so we called it the School of Light Collective. And I'm just going to have you feel into what this feels like to you to be a part of a school that is dedicated to ecstatic leadership, just the expansiveness of ecstatic, just living fully ecstatically in your body that's fully rooted deep in ancestral reverence, like understanding who you are and where you came from and listening, and leadership with humility as your guide, not having to know everything, but just showing up and with divine presence and cosmic communion with all that is. And so it's each individual's path in the School of Light Collective to create and design their own curriculum, so to speak. And so there's those of us that have been studying this, but it's your innate wisdom really. And so it's allowing that to to be present for it and to play in it. And so that's the key, and just allowing yourself to show up in a new way, or a new way to you. Like, I've recognized how much I've changed in the past 7 years. If you went back and saw recordings of me or where my consciousness was at that time, or even 10 years ago. I mean, I had just left corporate America 2016, I think it was. I there was lots of changes happening. And my background is as an environmental scientist. And you know, we are getting to explore all various different parts of ourselves, and that's part of the game. Like, we get to choose a new path for us, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And I do love the idea of, what you were saying of, you just kind of come as you are to the school and, we work with, what's in your toolbox.
Right.
And we don't have to prescribe to anything. And that's, the one thing that I've learned over the years too is anytime I've taken a class or whatever, I'll take nuggets from it that I find are my truth. And I kind of throw out the rest and just
Exactly.
carry on those little bits and pieces,
Right.
um, instead of prescribing to someone else's full vision that I don't find that's my full vision. And as a lot of people know on this podcast, I'm involved in feng shui. It's kind of been my main gig. I'm now also doing light language and channeling. So to be
Hmm.
able to come to the School of Light Collective and be like, this is everything I've got. This is my love. This is what fires me up. And then now, how can I expand upon that? Can you help me?
Yeah.
Um, so I think that's a beautiful purpose and a place to kind of, sit with and be like, is this right for me? Is that something I would want to reach out to and sign up for?
Yeah.
Um, Listening to my own voice instead of all the many other voices. And, there is an importance of expansion of wisdom by listening to others, but then there's also that balance of going within. So I think that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And then I did want to touch a little bit on light language since that's something
Hmm.
we share and have in common. And how do you bring the sacred play into that kind of modality, if lack of better words?
Well, I'll ask you, when did your light language appear?
It appeared 2 years ago. 2 years ago, and it was quite an experience. Not the typical way, I would say. I wasn't taught it. It just came online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember speaking as a child. I've talked
Mhm.
about this before. Speaking as a child, but was told, "You sound like you're talking gibberish." So just I wouldn't say that stuff in public. Like, so talk about like shutting down your throat chakra and like not feeling as safe to express yourself in that way. Um, yeah, it wasn't until I was doing meditation and a lot of deep breathing and where I all of a sudden words were just coming into play and tones, and I was toning and singing. And so it would start pouring out. And so I would like come into this meditative state and then I would like do it. Now it's come very naturally so I can show up and I'll just express a little bit to you now, in fact. And this is related to sacred play. Yakora kikiana o tasa ichusai nara roko o iana. Iana roko aisiaka rato sianaro tiaka. Asaro to ishiasa ikianana oro ai. Iana roko siasa ora aiana.
Beautiful. Um, can I tell you a little bit of what I saw and what I felt from that? Yeah, so while you were speaking, I closed my eyes and I literally saw a group of, I wouldn't say tribal, but maybe a little bit like that, but a group of people just celebrating being here, celebrating life and just life. And like literally, like, remember to celebrate and to sing and dance and play the drums and make sounds. Like it was just like a easefulness and gracefulness of just like, yeah, you have this always.
Always. Yeah,
Yeah. So that
that's
was
remembering.
beautiful.
Mm.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. So, for those of you that aren't familiar with light language, just to give a little more of a background and I would love to hear your perspective as well.
Yeah.
For me, I say it's a little bit like verbal Reiki.
Mhm.
It's very powerful and very direct. It bypasses your thinking mind, so you can get the healing like immediately. And it delivers like a whole huge healing experience, and it can be anything. Every time I meet with someone, it's different, and so that in itself is just fun and playful. Just opening up yourself to seeing what they need in that now moment, what is best for them.
Yeah. Well, when it started really pouring out of me, I was like, am I speaking a language that I just am not familiar with? And so I literally, and this was in 2018, I think, and was doing Google searches on it. I was like trying to find a translator, right? And then I heard my spirit say, no, that's your higher essence, silly. This is just you, your ecstatic self coming through in a new way that you know it's bypassing the mind and this very specific thing that we call language, that has a very specific thing. I think our soul knows it and our body knows it. It may be, and our heart knows it, but our mind may not play catch up because it doesn't process it that quickly. But our body knows it and our soul does, and we can feel it. And then sometimes, like you had mentioned, you saw images immediately. So did I need to have a translator? Like, no, you are the receiver. So you translate it however it suits your beingness.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's the beauty of it because, um, yeah, it's I don't know how to describe it. It's just like it's such an amazing, experience to have that. It's moving humanity towards, telepathy. Is that the right word?
Yeah,
Uh,
telepathic. Hmm.
yeah, yeah, and it's almost like it's just sound in general. It vibrates and comes into your field, and that sound is gonna vibrate different in your field than it does with someone else. That's why some people like some music and some people don't like other music, I think.
Yeah,
So yeah, I think that's it's so key to moving us forward, expanding again, opening up your mind to those possibilities of, oh, if you used to think this that can't be possible. She can't be speaking a different language. To, oh, wow, that really affected me like this, and I didn't think that was possible. And just it's all about that. It's all about opening up people's expanded awareness
yeah,
of what else can we do, what else is out there. So
exactly.
yeah,
Uh,
so go ahead.
yeah, and so in staying in that play theme, I like to pull cards sometimes from different decks. So I am going to ask you, are you feeling into, here's the first one, here's the second one, and here's the third one. One, two, or three.
I was feeling two or three, feeling more three.
Okay. So today, of course, this is so perfect. We're playing in Geraldine Glass's Crystal Sound Healing Oracle deck. And this is so beautiful because she's got tonalities. And I'm not a, affiliate or anything, but I really love this deck. She has 48 singing bowl audios that accompany this deck. And so we are going to pull a card for all of us that whatever we are needing right now in this collective moment, please let it be known. Mm, so pretty. So let me get the card deck out and I'm going to scan really quickly if you guys can be with me for just a moment.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
s- Scan this audio.
So for those who are just listening, the cards have QR codes on them, so you can actually pull a card from the deck and listen to it.
Which
Which
is
is
beautiful too.
yeah.
Okay, so this is card number 46, and it is called Journey of the Soul Harmonic Set. Ooh, goodness gracious. This is the Violet Flame, Neptune Gold, Saint Germain, Rose Quartz, Aqua Aura Quartz, Silver, and Pink Spirit Gold. This is elegance, mastery, and totality. So the alchemy messages, the resonance of your Journey of the Soul alchemy set is illuminated by the exquisite and elevated harmonics of the alchemies of the Violet Flame and Saint Germain bowls. Together, they create a true grounding, centering, and accelerated sound healing experience of divine love. That divine love becomes alchemized in the heart, then amplified, received, infused, and embodied into human form. This is the true journey of the soul. Through the guidance of Saint Germain, the master alchemist and transmuter of lower frequency energies into gold, the pure essence of your being. The Saint Germain and Violet Flame enhance, alchemies enhance your understanding of your existence as they bring the deeper mysteries of the universe and your relation to them in your greater focus. So, this is a profound sonic expression of elegance, mastery, and totality. It awakens the importance of nurturing lasting and loyal friendships, uniting male and female energies, and infuses the analytical mind with pure passion, radiant inspiration, and creativity. These unique harmonics bring a message of true journey of your soul from ignorance to mastery. So I'm going to have you, this is the alchemy mantra, and I'm going to play the singing bowls. I transform and transmute anything and everything that is not of the highest light and love. I know I am traveling with mastery on this pure path of the soul. As I grow, shift, and elevate my consciousness, there is an emanation of divine flow, trust, grace, and elegance. I have stepped into the totality of my soul's journey, and my true essence has been awakened by the violet flame of healing.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. That's amazing. I've been really connecting in with Saint Germain, and I think he's showing up for a lot of other people out there recently. So yeah, very beautiful. And Suzanne, tell everyone how they can reach you, contact you, or learn more.
So you can reach me at Suzanne Joy. It's spelled SUSANNE Joy, JOIE.com. Or you can remember unchartedjoy.com and or schooloflightcollective.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here. And I hope everybody's enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you next time.
Take care.
I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please take a moment to leave a review or support this podcast by subscribing. Visit wonderspacefengshui.com for events and other offerings. Thanks for listening, and see you in the next episode.